Connecting AI tools with automation. What if your software could talk to each other behind the scenes? For example, when a new lead form is completed on your website, it instantly creates a follow-up email, starts a proposal draft, or even notifies your team. That kind of automation is available right now using automation tools like Zapier or Make. I'm including this concept in this AI course because AI apps like Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude can be used in these automations. AI may seem like magic, but it's even more powerful with automations. So in this lesson, I'll explain exactly how these platforms work, how to check if your tools and your AI platforms are supported, and what it actually means to connect an app to an automation platform. You'll also see a real example of a sample workflow I've already built just to show you what's possible. And it doesn't even require any kind of code. By the end of this lesson, you'll understand the core concepts of automation, what these tools do, what's an API, how to find out if your business apps already talk to each other, and how exactly to connect them securely. So we'll talk about what Zapier and Make actually do, what an API is, I'll explain that to you in plain English, how to check compatibility amongst your apps, what it means to connect these tools together, and finally, I'll show you a real-world example of a working automation that I've built. So let's start out talking about these applications, Zapier and Make. There are many applications like them, but these are two of the most popular. So let's talk about these applications. Zapier and Make are automation platforms. They let you connect your software to each other, even if they weren't originally designed to work together. Think of them like a translator or a delivery driver. They take data from one app, like a form submission, and they carry it over to another app, sort of like from your email to your CRM, or from a form to your CRM, or from your Google application to another Google application. They don't store your data, they just move it from one place to another. So they act like a translator. They might translate the information from here and explain it to the next application. They act like a delivery driver. They'll pick up data from here and take it over there, and they move data without taking over your tools. They simply connect them. Now, to understand what these connections are, it's important to understand this one term, and that term is API. APIs are just the rules that allow different software to communicate with each other. You'll hear that in a lot of programming technology or terminology. It isn't that complicated. It's really just a handshake between two applications. And when an app has an API, it allows one software to act as a trigger for another one to take an action. This is what Zapier and Make do. They're like a universal connector between your applications. So for example, if one application has a form filled out, that's a trigger to start an automation to perhaps pass that data on to another application. So an API is just a handshake between your applications. Now, I know once we begin talking about terms like API, it sounds real technical and codey, but it's not. This isn't something that requires technical skills so much. The best part is you can connect your applications together if you can just click or type. And now even most platforms, including the one I'll show you, you could just tell them, hey, I want to connect my Gmail to my HubSpot, or I want to make sure that when someone emails me this information that it automatically goes into this CRM. These things can be done by simply explaining it and letting the platforms, oftentimes their AI, can tell you how to connect these things. So just know this, if a tool is listed inside Zapier or Make, it already has an API that allows you to connect them. So you don't need to write code, you can just click connect, and I'll show you that in a moment. So once again, if a tool is in the directory of either one of these applications and they have thousands, then you don't have to do any coding. You just say, hey, connect this to that, and you're ready to go. So I'm going to show you how to actually check the compatibility of the applications you have and if they're available in any of these tools like Zapier or Make. So first we'll look at Zapier. Under Zapier, you can go to zapier.com/apps and you'll see a directory of over 8,000 tools, meaning 8,000 different pieces of software ranging from email applications to CRMs to AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini. You just type in the name of the app you want to use, and then you'll see their logo. And if you see that, then you know that Zapier already knows how to connect those for you. And most of the things you'll be using are already there. So let me jump out of here and jump into Zapier and show you how easy it is to find out if the apps you use are available. Okay, this is Zapier. I'm at zapier.com/apps. And let's say, for example, I want to look up one of the applications I use. So I'll use, let's say Calendly. We use that for our scheduling. So we can click on Calendly because yes, it's already there. And Zapier is already saying, hey, put Calendly to work with your other applications, right? So let's say I want to have someone, if they schedule with us on our calendar through Calendly, I want it to notify our team via Slack. Well, Slack's also here. I can just click on Slack and it says right there, when this happens, automatically do this. I could just click on connect these apps and automatically my Calendly is connected to my Slack. Now in this case, this is my account and I've already given permission for each of these applications. If I were to add a new application that I didn't already give permission for, it would say, hey Lee, log into this application to give us permission to connect. But you can already see how simple it is. I've not done any coding. I've just said, hey, I want to connect this to this. It even makes it easier now because if I go back to the beginning, if I go back to Zapier.com, I could just look at they have a thing called Copilot. I could just say what I want to do and it will tell me, hey, here's how you can connect these two things. And it says, hey, this is perfect. Both Calendly and Slack are available and well supported in Zapier. Do you want me to connect it? And so I could just go right ahead and go straight into the editor and it's going to start adding these things for me together. So simple as that. All I have to do is tell it what I want to connect and it goes to work and connecting them. Using Copilot, I could say, I want it so that when someone schedules on my Calendly, my team is notified via Slack. Now, right now it's already thinking through, okay, we have Calendly and we know about Slack, and let's see what it says about my problem I want to solve. And it says, hey, I can help you with that. This is a perfect use case for a single zap that triggers when someone books on Calendly and send notification to your Slack team. And it even says, do you want to continue to editor? Now, I'll show you in a moment one of my actual working zaps, as they call them. But right now you'll see it's actually working through the part you would do manually before, and it's connecting it. It's saying, okay, here's your Calendly and here's your Slack. And look at this bottom corner over here. It says, great, now it's connected this. Excellent, both apps are authenticated. Let me test the Calendly trigger. It's testing everything. Now this can be done manually, but with the apps having AI built into them, it's doing it for you. It's connecting it. So you could even say, I want 10 steps of things deep, and it could still connect all 10 of those steps. So that's just an example in Zapier, how you can tell it, I want to connect this to that. And not only can you include AI applications in the connections you want to connect, I could have said, go to ChatGPT and check for something or write a paragraph and come back. Not only can I include AI in that, Zapier has AI built into it to where it can actually write these automations for me. All right. Now let's jump into a different one called Make. So just like in Zapier, you can go to make.com/integrations and still look for the same applications to connect in Make the same way you would in Zapier. So I don't use Make as much, and hopefully people in this community, I hope you're in the community for this course. Others can go even deeper with Make, but I can show you how to check for integrations. Let's look over in Make. All right, we're over in Make and at make.com/integrations. And again, we can search for any application we want to connect. So let's say, for example, you use Go High Level. Boom, it's right there. You can actually connect that. Maybe if you also did, say, Trello, it's there as well. So anything you want to connect, just like in Zapier, you can go here and search for those items and then begin connecting them the same way as you did in Zapier and make your automations with your AI tools as well. You'll see you have Google Gemini here, you have Perplexity, you have Claude, you have ChatGPT. They're all here. So you can use these automation tools to connect your AI tools together with your other existing tools and do some amazing things on their own without you having to be involved in every step. This is going to save you a ton of time when it comes to not only your AI applications working on their own for you, but now you can have them doing things, placing things into your Google Drive or on Facebook or in your social platforms, or doing work for you, or filling out Google Sheets, or analyzing. All that stuff can be done between AI and these automations. So now you see what it means to connect your apps in an application like Zapier or Make. Basically, it just means locating the apps you want to connect and then giving permission to Zapier or Make to log into your account and connect these accounts, connect these applications. So I would say, hey, Zapier, here's my Calendly account. Hey, Zapier, here's my Google Sheets account or my Google Drive. You have access to both of those. When I say send something from here to there, you have permission to do that. So basically, you find your apps, give permission, and you approve the access. It's like a permission slip for the application, the automation program to connect your applications together. So now let me share with you a real world example that I use all the time in my agency. This workflow basically is built when a file, a video file, for example, is saved in a designated folder, and then that's your trigger. And the system automatically sends that file to a translation app, then to ChatGPT to write a social post for us, and then to a social media scheduler for posting. All this happens within seconds. So let me show you that actual thing. We'll jump over to Zapier that we use, and I'll show you that actual workflow. All right, so here's that actual workflow in my Zapier account. The trigger, there's always a trigger. The trigger is there's a new file in a folder. And there's configurations for each step, and this configuration is, hey Lee, which folder? And so it's my production shared drive, and it's the folder called Video Shorts. So the trigger is when there's a new file placed by my producer into that folder, this automation kicks off. And this automation has 4 steps. 2 of them are AI steps. So the second step is it goes to an application called Assembly AI. Assembly AI listens to or watches the video and transcribes that. And so basically it takes, in this case, a video file. It says audio file, but this is a video file. It transcribes it, and then it takes that transcription and it's ready for the next step. So as you notice that in step 2, it refers to the file from step 1. So in step 3, it says, okay, we know what the file is. We know what the transcription is. I then send it to ChatGPT to write a social post. Now, how is that done? Here in Zapier, I have the prompt that goes to ChatGPT to say, hey, ChatGPT, Lee wants you to look at this prompt and look at this transcript from this video file and write a LinkedIn post based on the transcript of that video file. That's a step in automation. We're only a few seconds in here, right? And once that's done, it takes that LinkedIn text. It knows where the video is because I gave it to it in step 1. It takes that video and it takes that LinkedIn post, puts them together, and sends them to my social scheduling platform. We use Vista Social. It's like a Hootsuite or a Buffer. It sets it there. So basically, when my producer drops a file into that folder, the next thing that happens is this automation goes to work. AI transcribes it. AI writes a LinkedIn post because we already have the prompt already in here. We don't have to add the prompt. The prompt is in this automation. And then the automation, Zapier, sends it on to our scheduler. So basically, the last human touch is the person who drops it in that folder. From there, the next thing we know, now I have it so it lands as a draft in my scheduler because I want to look at it, or you can just let it go on out depending on how well you've prompted it and how much you are ready to trust that it's the way you want it. I like to look at mine before it goes out to the public, so I like to look at them and improve them, but still we can drop in a dozen video clips and then boom, within seconds, we have a dozen posts written for us. And again, the best part is it's written based on what we said. It isn't just AI slop generated by ChatGPT just out of the air. It takes what we said, the actual transcript, and writes a post based on what we actually said as humans, which makes it a very good post. So now we have this automation that's used our AI tools to do the work for us quickly. Now, before we wrap up this lesson, I want to give you a couple of terminology notes. Depending on which automation platform you decide to use, I use Zapier, for example, and those workflows are called Zaps. If you're in Make, they're called scenarios, and some other platform could call them something different, all right? So, lesson recap. Automation tools move information behind the scenes using APIs. If your tool's in the directory, you can automate it, and you can simply connect them by logging in and authorizing access to all of the thousands of tools or the tools that you have that you want to connect. So Zapier and Make move things behind the scenes. APIs are just a permission for a connection between those two applications, and then you connect into them, and the result is you save a ton of time, because now you think of all the time you spend logging in and out of different applications, or your if this then that scenarios. If someone on my team does this, then I want them to copy and paste or move a file over here and do that. Now you can use AI that does some of the thinking for you, some of the doing, and something like Zapier or Make to connect all your programs together. And now you can unlock a world of automation and AI work that can be done without so much human intervention. And now you've saved yourself time, possibly employees, and lots of money in terms of running your business smoothly and with an automated way utilizing AI. All right, here's your homework before the next lesson. Make a list of the top 3 tools or applications you use every week. Then go to Zapier or Make and search to make sure those tools are in those platforms. Then think about how you can connect these things or what tasks you can automate, and play with those tools to see, even if it's in plain language with their AI builders, to see, hey, how can I automatically go from here to here to here in those 3 applications without having to intervene every time. Learn what you can do in these applications to speed up your time and to get more done using AI.